Are you really listening to this podcast all by yourself? What? Share it with the homies. Hit that subscribe button. Watch the Climate Podcast with everyone. Let's get right into the episode.
Smash the button.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Climate Podcast. Today, we have on our very, very special guest, Adrian, an overseas Philippines basketball player. Thank you for coming on the podcast today. We really appreciate it, man. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. Good. How are you? How are you guys?
Good.
Chilling like a villain, man. You know me, ain't nothing changing but the weather.
Facts. A little chilly today.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So first thing I wanted to ask you is you're obviously a certified baller. So I wanted to know, what is your craziest smack talk story?
I actually have two. Do you guys want to hear the one in the Philippines or the one here?
Whichever one you think is cooler.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just go with the one in the Philippines for now. It was practice and I was matched up with the local, and the local is a player from born and raised from the Philippines. So they got out the mud. They're grinding for their spot. The money that we get from our school is the money they provide for their family.
Mhm.
So I get how it's very personal for them. But it was one practice where I was getting a couple buckets on him. It was clear that I was winning the matchup, and he started playing really physical. Started elbowing me, started grabbing my jersey, hand checking, all that.
Yeah.
So I started talking smack. I was like, he has to foul me to guard me. And then he started he didn't really know good English at the time. So he started talking smack in Filipino, and I just whatever he was saying, I was just going through my ear because I didn't really understand it. And then and then one time, probably a couple plays later, he told his teammate that we were scrimmaging against that to elbow me when I come off the screen. When he comes off the screen to elbow me, and he said it in Filipino, and I didn't understand my Filipino, it's called Tagalog, my native language in Manila.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really understand it fully, so one of my teammates told me watch out because they're talking about hurting me in Tagalog, right in front of me.
Like the Karate Kid.
Wow.
Bruh.
Yeah, I was wow, that's crazy.
What the
These are your
heck?
teammates?
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Yeah, they're my teammates that we're scrimmaging against. So
Jeez.
yeah, every day was a battle over there for sure.
That man was on smoke. So wait, I mean, Ibrahim, did you want to give a quick introduction on our guest, and then I can go into asking him about that?
Yeah. So Adrian was at the El Zaydan Hoop Sesh a couple weeks ago. His team came in second place. Honestly, that game came down to the wire. It literally came down to free throws. We'll get into it later, but this man is a certified baller. AP for three is his IG handle, and it says it all. This man's 6'1" with a 77-inch wingspan, bro.
Dude, that should be illegal.
This man is big. Pause. But yeah, he's a hooper, bro. He's a certified bucket getter, baller shot caller, as Jameed likes to say. He's no joke. And he's our first professional player to jump on the podcast, man. So
let's go.
Honor to have you.
Let's go. Right.
I'm not a professional yet, but that is the goal. I think I am in the course of being a professional.
All right, so let me asterisk overseas player. Overseas player.
Okay, then I wanted to ask you, what level are you considered in the Philippines then?
So there's a lot of tryouts and showcase over here for the Philippines,
mm-hmm.
and they look for D1, D2 caliber players to play over there. So I say low D1, D2 compared to here.
Still good competition then. I mean,
yeah, they're if you look up the games, man, it's crazy packed. I'm really looking forward. It was supposed to be my first season last year, 2020, but COVID happened. So it was very unfortunate.
you said a lot of kids are, grinding to get to their positions in the Philippines. They have to go through the mud. I think that's what you said.
Yeah,
What do you mean by that? What does that mean?
like they literally grew up in the streets, like the mud. Like if you walk through the streets in Manila, like there's kids playing in either like flip flops or barefoot because they can't afford basketball shoes, and their basketball is a milk crate. Their basketball is a milk crate with wood, a wooden
Oh,
backboard, and
wow.
seeing that firsthand like really made me humble and like appreciate like basketball because there's kids that like have that dream and they're not
Yeah.
in the best circumstances and they still chase it no matter what. So
Yeah. So, what was it like? Who was the player in the Philippines that really kickstarted a basketball culture there? Because from what I understand, it's gotten really big.
yeah, person that really Jordan Clarkson is the big Phil-Am. He's a
What?
Huh.
Filipino Amer Jordan Clarkson is Filipino American. So like I
Oh,
am Filipino American even though I'm full Filipino because I'm from America. So they call me over there they call me a Phil-Am, so Filipino American.
Yeah.
okay.
Jordan Clarkson a Filipino American. So he's a big Phil-Am from the States that people, especially in the Philippines, look up to.
I
And
had I had
That's
no
cool.
idea. I'm like Jordan Clarkson. That's kind of that's like a random player.
I
I'm like,
didn't know
yeah,
yeah,
he's actually Filipino. Like his nationality's. I did not
yeah,
know
he's
this. That's
half.
crazy.
dang,
So he
dude.
played for Gilas, our national team, a couple of times, I think. So he represented us. There was a big man that somehow got his Filipino citizenship. He played in the NBA. Damn, I totally forgot his name, but you guys would know his name too if I
Mm,
said it.
okay.
Yeah, I wanna. It's bothering me now, but yeah,
Well, we'll
he played
keep
in the
going if
NBA
you
too.
if you remember it. You can talk about it. So I wanted to ask you about your your current goals then. So first talk about what your current position is in the realm of basketball and like what your next steps are.
Um, right now I'm playing collegiate basketball in the Philippines, and I'm playing in like the highest conference, like the best top two conferences over there. And a lot of the players from those conferences move on to the PBA, which is like the NBA in the Philippines.
Hmm.
So obviously, like being a pro is my next step. But if I just have to play well in college and then make a name for myself, uh, and from there,
Talking about Jalen Green.
no. Jalen Green's a big one too, but he's in high school. He's in the
Uh,
G League, right? But I'm talking
yeah.
about a big man that played
Mm.
in the NBA for years.
My bad. I didn't mean to
Oh,
cut you off. I was
Andre
just trying to do
Blatch,
this research.
Andre Blatch. I think it's Andre Blatch.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
Blatch, yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes,
Blatch.
yes.
He played
okay.
for Gilas. I don't know how he was Filipino, but I guess he's Filipino, man. So that's who he is. That's a big man.
Fair enough. I wanted to ask you, who was the best player you've ever played against?
The best player in the game, or like how about like a training session?
I guess it could be either. Yeah.
Okay, in the game it was probably Jimmy Sotos. He plays at Ohio State right now.
Oh, wow.
We were in the same conference in high school, so I played him twice. Really good. He's
Dang.
very smart, skilled. Yeah, he was tough.
So,
And then in uh in training, I play I play against this guy named Corey Brown, and he gets me. I train with him like every day for like 3 or 4 months from like September to December, and
yeah.
he got me a lot better. He played at South Dakota State and was all defensive first team for that conference, and they made it to the tournament when he was there.
What?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Oh,
so
that's actually
training
insane.
with him like the first week, he busted me pretty bad. Like I was like, damn.
Dang. You,
But
you know, I
he
want,
gets me better. He gets me a lot better though. So
Hell yeah.
props to him. Shout out to Corey.
fair enough. Yeah, I wanted to ask, what is like the biggest difference between playing in high school here and playing in college in the Philippines?
Biggest difference, I say the age and the physicality. Um, like the average age for the Philippines is probably like 23, 23. 22, 23 for collegiate because like that you can play till you're 25 over there. So when I went there when I was 19, I was like, damn, like I'm really young. And I still feel like I'm young compared to the other players 'cause I'm only
Yeah.
20. But also the physicality, like they're not as skilled as players over here are, but they play really physical, especially to like foreigners, like from there's Philip there's because they call me a foreigner over there, which is
Yeah.
crazy, right? So to like from their perspective, like the locals' perspective to us, like they think we got it easy and they think we're trying to take their spot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it is what it is, but it's very personal over there, very physical
Jeez. So
every day.
is
Yeah.
there a distinct difference between the American play style and the Filipino play style? Like
Yeah.
if you couldn't see anybody's faces and you just saw the way they were playing, could you be able to tell like, yeah, these are Filipino players?
Yeah, for sure. Uh, like I said, the physicality is just different over there.
Okay.
Like they allow hand checking,
Hmm.
they allow hip checking.
Mm.
Oh,
The
wow.
refs don't get paid much there, so they don't really.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah, like they just like let their they like let us play. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's
Mm.
getting better. Like especially in the top conferences in the Philippines for collegiate, even the
Yeah.
PBA. Like it's definitely getting better. But if you look at like the other leagues, like I've seen someone get hip checked, someone get elbowed, and nothing's called. And I'm like, wow, like
Dang.
if that were to be me, I'm
I'm
might have
getting
to
heated.
swing. Yeah, I might have to swing back.
We had two other guests on here a couple weeks ago. Each of them played either D1 or D2 ball, and they said the same exact thing. Difference between high school and college. They said that it's a physicality thing. In high school,
Yeah,
it's not saying everyone can make the high school team, but these guys are a little smaller, not as strong. But when you get to college ball, it's a whole different ball game. You got basically big bodies, grown bodies coming at you, and like you said, a lot of hip checking, a lot of fouls called, things like that. So it's a consistent thing that we're hearing between the difference of high school and college.
and
Yeah.
also one thing is to like everyone in the college team was their man on their high school team.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like everyone was the scorer, everyone was the lead ball
yeah,
handler, everyone was the man in their high school team. So when you're in a college team, you're surrounded by a bunch of other dogs, a bunch of other people.
alphas, yeah.
Yep. So like Um, I think another hard part is understanding your role in a college team because I experienced it myself. Like when I was just I always had the ball in my hands in high school, and then I was practicing in college. I had to learn how to play off the ball. I had to learn how to score in ways I didn't score having the ball. So or
Yeah.
making an impact in defense if I didn't have the ball, just like contributing into the game where I don't have the ball as much, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to take it back a little and I want to ask you where the love of the game came from and who you kind of modeled your game after. Like, what kind of sparked your interest in basketball?
Well, I first started playing basketball when I was 5, and I think my uncle and my dad like really helped me find the love of the game because my uncle was he played in the Philippines too, so I
Yeah.
was always like working out with him when I was a kid, and he played college here in Dominican University, D3. I think it's in River Forest, but
Hmm.
he played here D3, so I always around him when he was working out and saw like how much hard work it takes to play at the next level. But NBA player that I looked up to when I was young was probably Ray Allen. Ray
Okay.
Allen.
Did
So
you
that
model your game after him?
yeah. If you look at my game in high school and middle school, I was just a catch and shoot,
Catch and
stand
shoot?
in the corner,
Huh.
3-point specialist.
So
But
I wanted to ask you about
That's
your
crazy.
footwork then, because Ray Allen tells a story about, I mean, I think it was Eric Spoelstra was telling the story about how Ray Allen in practice would practice the same move. He runs towards the baseline, flips the ball, takes 2 steps back to the corner. And lo and behold, that's the biggest shot of his career. He hits that in the
yeah,
NBA finals. So if, since you said you play like Ray Allen, How have you tried to train your footwork to be like Ray Allen?
I used to play. I don't play like Real anymore. I
Oh,
don't think. But I do know what you're talking about. In high school, we used to practice our footwork, so we roll out the ball to our right, and
yeah,
then take our first step to our left, and if we roll it to the left side, take a first step to our right to go into our jump shot. Uh,
yeah,
like Ray Allen, like I listen to other podcasts with JJ Redick too, another shooter with he
yeah,
had a podcast with Duncan Robinson.
Old man in the three.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great podcast.
Yep.
They're talking about how like their role is to shoot threes, so they literally just practice curling screens, fading like what Ray Allen does, fading to the corner, like
yeah,
all different angles because basketball is all about angles. So
yeah.
like they just got to practice where they're getting their shots from and what type of footwork they're getting, what's the best footwork. So
So,
I
Another
definitely
thing,
know.
kind of about like piggybacking off of what Jamil was saying. There's another Ray Allen story where I think it was UD was saying he would practice similar shots, but he would lay on his stomach or lay on his back, and then get up, run a full sprint, catch the ball, and shoot. Like he would do like insane drills, like game speed drills to just get the ball off. So I mean, it paid off. Like Jamil said,
Man,
hit the craziest shot of his career.
yeah.
yeah, won
So,
LeBron his ring.
yeah.
Really, it did. Man, I
Facts.
actually stopped being a Ray Allen fan when he went to the Heat.
Really?
Like I'm still a Ray Allen fan, but I was like, damn, like because I was a Celtics fan, and when he left the
Ah,
Celtics, I was
He
like,
okay.
went to the
damn,
ops.
for real, like that's who they're losing to. I was like, damn, that hurt. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was,
why the whole beef started. There's a whole Paul Pierce, KG, Rondo, like they all beef with him
Perkins, yeah,
because of
all
that. Yeah,
yeah,
Perk, all of them. They all talked about it publicly. Like, how are you
damn,
gonna
man.
join the ops after we just smashed these
right,
guys?
He,
crazy.
he's just getting his bag. You can't really, I'm just kidding. No, I hated
I
that
mean,
too.
it worked for him, so
Yeah, it worked for
Facts.
it worked
him.
for him.
But I'm the number one LeBron hater. That's also why I stopped liking Kevin Durant because I was
Really,
obsessed with Kevin Durant, dude. I was obsessed with him. And then he goes to the Warriors, and I'm like, what's the point of life anymore? You know, it's whatever.
I feel you.
So I wanted to ask, so you said like the people at your level in the Philippines are probably the equivalent of a D1, D2 level here. So what made you decide to go play in the Philippines as opposed to just continuing or moving up in college basketball here? Was it your uncle or what was it?
I think it was the best route for me to be a pro.
Okay.
So let's say I always wanted to be a pro, like ever since I was 7. I would like it was just in my mind like I want to be a pro. So
Yeah.
I think because I was playing JUCO here, and then I heard like if I'm not a D1 player here in the States, like playing for like a big time D1 school, going back to the Philippines it would be harder for me because they wouldn't know who I am.
Mm,
So if I were to play college over there in the Philippines, it gives me more exposure for the pros. So
makes sense.
puts me in the spotlight. So um
That was a
I've
smart
seen
move.
D1, D2 players come to the States and like they don't have a name for themselves and now they're struggling. Like
Yeah.
people in the Philippines don't know they're D1, D2 unless they say something, unless they're like really killing.
Okay.
But there was a guard from Illinois State that went to play in the same conference I'm playing in,
Yeah.
and he played in the games and he was struggling, so he ended up moving back to the States, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. So it's I think he was struggling with a different type of play style the Philippines has because it's
That's what I was
definitely
about to
different.
ask,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's literally a whole different country. So I'm assuming you guys play ball slightly different, like your play
hmm
style, your game plans,
It's
your
faster,
sets, all that
like
stuff. Yeah,
a lot of fast breaks.
yeah.
A lot of college teams over there like to full court pressure, like try to speed you up.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's one thing that I got in the sense from just watching a lot of like overseas ball is not only you guys play a lot faster, but it's also a lot more team oriented, right?
Yeah.
So here in the States, it's a lot of give the ball to your best player, let him do work, and then the other guys will
Pick and
follow
rolls.
suit. Yeah. Overseas, it seems like it's a lot of like Spurs, quote unquote, basketball. Move the ball around, look for the open shot, look for the best shot. Doesn't matter who eats as long as we win. So it's
hmm
really interesting to hear that.
You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, could you give a scouting report on yourself? So I was reading the article and it says
Question.
you'd be good defensively. That'd be a good defensive help. So it made me wonder, what kind of player are you?
I think I can score in a variety of ways. If I was a scouting report, I'd say I'm more comfortable going left than I am with my right as a weakness, but I still can go right. But I like to pull up off my right side.
Okay.
I like to shoot off my right side. Like my step backs are off my right side.
Oh, okay. So
Very
drive
comfortable
right,
going off
step
my right
back.
side.
I mean, drive
Yeah,
left, step back. Okay.
but if, like my strengths, I think I can create off the pick and roll. I like using the pick and roll a lot. I can shoot off the dribble. Um, I like having the ball in my hands is what
Yeah,
my strength is. So creating off that,
for sure. What
creating
do you
shots for my teammates.
what do you think would be the number one thing that you need to be working on?
So I said I was a catch and shoot player in middle school and high school. I think that's my weakness now is
Really,
my catch and shoot three.
Oh wow.
I think
man,
that's my weakness now. It's crazy.
you got to
Because
get right
before I
there.
wasn't I was very small in high school too. Like I didn't start growing
Mm.
until after high school.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's not sad, but it's fine.
Oh, you had one of
I've,
them AD growth spurts.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
So when did you like? At what point did you realize that like, hey, I'm pretty good at this game. Like I'm pretty decent. Like, when was that point?
Uh I always thought I was nice. Like I always thought because I always worked on my game, but
Yeah.
in high school I just thought I wasn't like fully developed, or I was pretty slow in high school, I'd say. I couldn't dunk. So I think after high school was when I started like developing, like my body was growing. Um, I started getting more athletic, started being more confident in driving to the rim.
Yeah.
So there was a showcase and I balled out and I was like, yeah, like I'm different, I'm nice.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, fair
That's
enough.
actually how I got discovered for the Philippines was that showcase.
Oh,
Where was this showcase
Yeah.
at?
Prospect Heights Park District. Prospect Park District. So it was here and so like it was so spontaneous. I just got invited like the day before and they're like, yo, come to the showcase. There's a scout that's gonna be there from the Philippines. And then there was like 40 kids and I like balled out. I was dunking,
Hell
all
yeah.
that.
okay.
And then I was the only one like picked basically from the scout. I was the only one hit up by the scout. So
What
So
was the first?
have you been to the Philippines before you actually went there to go hoop?
I did. I was there. I went literally like 2018 spring.
Mm.
Yeah, 2018 spring. I went there for like a month.
So you know your way around. It wasn't kind of like a huge culture shock to you, or was it
No,
still kind of like,
it was a huge culture shock for sure.
huh?
Definitely. I actually struggled. That was one thing. I was very homesick when I was there.
Oh wow.
So
That was one of the adversities I went through.
assuming you were there for a long period of time, and then COVID kind of messed things up, and you had to come back. Is that
I was
basically
there
what
for not
happened?
yeah, like 9 months.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Um. Yeah. I wanted to ask because you mentioned you were dunking in the showcase. When was the first time you dunked in game?
Uh I haven't dunked yet in like a real college game. Like that's
Ah,
on my bucket list.
okay.
But in like a league game, I dunked it 2018. It was like a Filipino league and I dunked it there. And I
Oh, I
kind
thought you were
of
gonna be like, yeah, the showcase was the first time. And
That would have been
no, no,
insane.
that would have been
It's, have
awesome.
you
no, it
caught a
wasn't.
body before?
No, that's actually on my bucket list too. I want to
Okay,
catch a
okay.
body.
Fair enough.
Hey,
So I wanted to ask or talk about another tournament that you went to recently. Um, called the Elzadan Hoop Sesh. I unfortunately wasn't there. I had to stay at school and do some work. But what was your impression of the tournament? And like, what were you thinking coming in?
My impression of the tournament, I actually did not know what this tournament was gonna look like, but literally the first game there was a buzzer beater. The second game there was a buzzer beater, and I was the third game, and we almost choked the lead. We're up by like almost 20, and they made a buzzer beater to send it to OT. So like
yeah.
Dang.
after my game, I was like, damn, like everyone's hitting big time shots, so I guess we gotta step our game up, or
Yeah.
else like we can easily lose, you know. So that was kind of my first impression after the first game was like, all right, we can't take it lightly. Got to keep going.
So, looking back, do you have any regrets or anything that you would do differently?
Yeah, probably just shooting the ball better. And my part,
Mm.
I think my team's part, making our free throws. I think if we made our free throws, we would have easily won the championship. Because we played the blue team twice. The first game we were up by like 6 with like 2 minutes left, and we missed our free throws, and they came back and won. And that was literally what happened this the championship game too. Because we were up the whole game, we missed our free throws, and they came back like last minute. So
That's something
like,
I told Maurice last episode is even on air and like before we started recording is I told him, yo, free throws is what made or broke some teams almost every game. So like I think it was the first game or second game, it was decided by free throws. The second game.
yeah,
And then also your championship game was ultimately decided by free throws or lack thereof. So it's crazy. It was all intense. I don't think there was one blowout aside from when you guys played to go to the finals when you guys hit that team with the
Yeah.
zone. You guys threw
Yeah.
them off with that zone, dude. They did
Man,
not know what to do with it.
also one of my regrets is that we had to play zone because we only had 5 players. I really only had 5 players. So
Oh, true.
like my biggest regret was actually not having enough players because I honestly think if we had enough players, we would have won too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we only had 5 players. So me and Zeke, like Zeke was dead. Zeke was getting fouled he was getting hammered the whole day, like getting
Jeez.
brought down to the ground. Like everyone was fouled because they couldn't stop Zeke.
Yeah, he was the
so
MVP for a
big.
reason. He was the
Yeah, Zeke
MVP
is
for a
so
reason.
big, so big,
So
strong.
how did you meet the people that you were playing with? Like, how did you get that squad?
So my teammate in the Philippines, he works at Export, and his coworker is called Mohammed Mo. Y'all know Mo, right?
Yeah.
And so his coworker, it's crazy because my teammate and the dude from Export, his coworker didn't end up playing. So we're missing 2 players because they got injured.
Damn.
So we only had 5 players, and then Mo, like we're in a group chat. Mo, my teammate, and his coworker from Export got injured, so they were out. So I had to find like 2 to 3 players because I was like, I already put my money into this. So I'm not trying to lose.
Yeah.
And so I hit up Zeke because I know Zeke. We hooped like 4 times. So we played in a league, and we played in a league together. So I hit up Zeke, and I hit up CJ because I know him through like Philippine basketball, and I hit up my guy JT, and he got hurt. So that was our 6th man, right? Like that was our 6th, and he got hurt the first 3 minutes of the first game.
I was
Like, he ended
wondering
up,
why he was sitting out. I was wondering. I
yeah,
didn't want to ask. Damn.
What?
Okay.
he ended up going to the ER that day.
What?
From that, yeah.
What happened? Like an ankle or?
Nah, it was the first game, first 3 minutes. He said that he went for the loose ball or steal, and he didn't see the guy coming to the side of him, so he couldn't brace himself. So the guy literally ran straight into his shoulder, his shooting shoulder, so his right shoulder, and he couldn't like raise it. I'm like, bro, like don't even force it. Like, I don't want you to like get really hurt. So like, don't even force it. You don't have to play. It's fine. So
Yeah.
we'll find a 6th guy. So
Man,
That's insane.
ended up, yeah.
dude, that is insane.
And JT's a bucket. Like he's a 1,000-point scorer in high school, and he
Oh, wow.
played in St. Francis University. And he probably played against those guys from the championship squad because they played at St. Xavier, right?
I
Yeah,
think
they all played at Moraine together, and then some of them played at St. Xavier.
St. Xavier. So St. Xavier's in the same conference as St. Francis, I think. I
Yeah.
believe so. So
Yeah.
they might have played each other, but JT is definitely a bucket. Like, he would have helped a ton.
you think if JT was there, you guys would have won?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
All
Because
right.
I was shooting bad. I wasn't shooting, like my threes are off, but it was just my threes. And JT can shoot the 3 really good too. So
We're stirring up
I
the
had to
pot.
drive a lot.
You know what we should have done? We should have had both teams on at the same time.
Oh, we're trying to start some
I'm down for
drama,
that.
bro.
That would have been crazy.
Okay, so I want to switch over to some basketball talk, NBA talk. First things first, in the month of April, Stephen Curry has been going absolutely
Out of his
ballistic.
mind.
He's shooting
Hey, we're witnessing
47%.
history.
You think he's averaging
History
like
right there.
38 points a game? He's shooting like 47% from the three.
Man,
So I wanted to ask, who is your top 5 for MVP voting?
top 5.
Yeah. So just to give you
So the
a
thing about Steph is that they're not the top seed, so it's kind of hard to
mhm.
give to not, like that's why people don't see Steph as an MVP because he's not the top seed.
Yeah.
But
The for reference, the current NBA MVP ladder is number 1 is Jokic, number 2 is Embiid, number 3 is Giannis, number 4 is Luka, and number 5 is Steph. Oh, they got Luka up there too. Wow.
yeah, Luka's up there. What's his record? I know it's not. I know it's not.
I mean,
not too great.
they're the sixth seed, so they're not horrible. They're 32 and 26.
I definitely have Jokic winning it for first, and then Embiid second. Embiid's hurt though again. No.
Oh, is he? Oh, he got hurt again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think if he never got injured, he would have been the clear front runner? Because he was the clear front runner
Yeah.
until he got injured.
Yeah, for sure. But I have Jokic right now because Embiid's hurt. So
Yeah.
Embiid's second. I want to put Steph top 3, man, because he's going absolutely crazy right now. Like we're
Yeah. I mean,
greatest shooter of all time,
so
Easily. Yeah.
easily.
I wanted to ask you then. All right, Ibrahim knows this is coming. There is a right answer to the question I'm going to ask. Like, I just need you to know that. Steph or Dame?
Steph.
Can I ask why too?
Steph.
Yeah.
I don't know how. Like I think that's like a no question. I mean, people like to argue for Dame because like he's a bucket too, but like Steph is literally a whole offense.
Thank you.
Literally a whole offense.
Thank you,
He can
bro.
Okay,
score
so-
with the ball and he can score off the ball. And he's one of the best off the ball players we've seen. Because he's as good as Ray Allen and Reggie Miller off the ball. Because he knows
Yeah.
how to use his hands, he knows how to cut, he knows how to manipulate the defense off the ball. And he's so good on the ball.
Yeah.
His finishing is so underrated that people don't even know he's a good finisher. Like don't even think he's a good finisher because he's such a good shooter.
Yeah.
Like the only thing Dame has over Steph is athleticism, and that's what I think. That's my opinion. But
I wanna. So the reason why Jamila's asking is because I took Dame over Steph.
really,
Simply because of 2 reasons, right? I didn't want to flat out say this, but because I just like Dame more. Like it's just I
Yeah,
like his
makes
his
sense.
swagger. But Jamil just hounds me about this because he's like, listen, when you ask who do you take, like, Kobe or Jordan or so and so and so and so, you don't pick your favorite player. You pick based on who's better.
exactly.
So this morning I messaged. I was like, "Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen Steph play the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, and he's just playing freaking out of his mind. Like you said earlier,
Crazy.
we're literally witnessing history right now.
Yeah, crazy.
So if we're taking who's better, Steph Curry. But if it were up to me, based on who I'm taking, strictly based on who I'm taking, my own opinion, I'm taking Dame because I just love Dame. I just like his swagger, his whole his attitude when he goes on the court.
Speaking of history, I'm sure you guys have heard of this. There's one NBA player making history that nobody even thought was near possible, putting up numbers better than the best shooters in NBA history. He's currently playing in the NBA, putting up a 50, 50, and 100. 50 from the field, 50 from the three-pointer, and 100% from the free throw line. Do you guys know his name?
Jaylen Brown.
His name is none other than Tony Snell. He's putting up a
What?
50, 50, and 100. I'm not joking. This has been all over NBA.
How much is he averaging? How much is he averaging though?
Let me see.
Yeah, I mean that's a big question to ask. If he's
Okay, hold on,
averaging
hold on.
like 6 points a game,
I will
it's
let you
like-
know he's averaging 21 minutes a game, so that's not
Okay.
bad.
Wait, there,
He's probably
wait,
averaging
wait,
like 2
Ethan,
points a game.
there was another stat I saw of him where he was in the game for like a good amount of minutes and it was
The
just zero,
zeros.
zero, 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 like nothing. It was
My
just
guy was
zero,
just
zero,
running
zero, zero.
suicides. Nah, he's averaging 5 points a game. Jeez, this is pretty bad. 5 points a game, 1.3 assists, and 2.4 rebounds for
Yeah,
20.
so they're all at the.
How many
How do
shots
you?
did he take though?
Yeah.
Like 3?
Let me see. So he shoots 0.3 free throws a game, and he makes
0.3.
0.3. Yeah. And for 2-pointers, he attempts 1.2 and he makes 0.5. And for 3-pointers, he attempts 2.5 and he makes 1.4.
That's like a Sports Center
Yeah.
stat. That's something that Sports Center will
Yeah.
bust out and be like, Tony Snell is like making history, and then
A 50-51. You already
Hey,
know the next game.
kudos to Tony Snell though. You're making the best out of his opportunity.
Yeah.
Every shot, it's 50% right there. One shot a game.
He's still in the
That's
NBA.
amazing.
I don't get it. Maybe it's his defense. I don't get it at all.
Nelly.
Because he's not all
Is he
that
still with the
efficient for a
Bucks?
guy who plays that much.
Yeah, I think he's with the Bucks.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing I wanted to ask is about the Nets. As far as I'm concerned, since Blake came, none of them have all played together.
Yeah.
What do you think that means for them going in the playoffs? Does that hurt them? Do you think that they're low-key just taking turns and they're not actually injured? Or what do you think's the deal?
I think when they're all together, it's a cheat code because they're all experienced. So it's not like they're all young and like they're not all young and talented. They're all experienced and talented.
Yeah.
So like KD's been injured, but he played with Steph and Clay, so he knows how to share the ball. Kyrie played with LeBron, so LeBron always had the ball a lot of the times when Kyrie was playing with him.
Yeah.
So Kyrie knows how to play off the ball too. And Harden, he's just meshing well with anyone. He meshed well with Chris Paul. He meshes well. He just wants to win the championship at this point. So he's gonna do anything it takes to win the championship. And from what I see, and so they're all experienced. So it's not like they're all young and talented. They don't know how to share the ball. Like they're experienced and I think they're one of the greatest in their own position too.
It also
So I
helps
think
having a pass-first point guard as their head coach. Jamil's favorite MVP of all time,
really,
Steve Nash.
He's not my favorite MVP. He's my least favorite MVP of all time. Listen, since you brought it up, okay, how in the NBA's right mind did they give Steve Nash 2 MVPs
over
and
Kobe.
Kobe Bryant 1?
Man, I don't understand that either.
It doesn't make
But
sense.
Nash did lead them to he was the main guy in the first seed. If you want to get into that,
that is true. And that was the furthest he ever made it in his career was the Western Conference Finals. So that's also why I hate on him. It's like 5 rings, Western Conference Finals. Like I don't know, man. I mean to backtrack a little about the Nets and the 76ers, the last 2 times the 76ers and the Nets win against each other, 76ers beat the Nets. Given last time they played, all the Nets had was Kyrie Irving, but the 76ers still played the lights out. Do you think that all teams at full capacity would be a close matchup in the playoffs, or do you just think it's completely one-sided? There's no way one team wins.
I think the problem with 76ers is that with the Nets is I think the Nets is just going to go straight at Embiid for the pick and roll. Because if you saw Steph when he played the 76ers, like they're just going pick and roll straight at Embiid.
Yep.
And Embiid doesn't hedge. He can't hedge, so he's in a drop coverage.
Yeah. I mean, he's really big to move his feet that quickly as well.
Right. So he's always sagging off. Like he's literally just at the high school 3-point line when Steph was coming off the screens.
Yeah.
But imagine when the Nets do it when they have Kyrie, Harden, and KD. I think they're just gonna exploit Embiid, and Embiid might even be in foul trouble, 1, or 2, he might get really tired from guarding Kyrie, KD, and Harden all game long that he's not gonna have a lot of juice for the offensive side. And this is a 7-game series too. So I think maybe the first 2 to 3 games, 76ers have a chance, but after like the first 2 or 3 games. It's all Nets right there.
I honestly,
So,
I think I'd agree. A long time ago, I predicted Nets would make the finals and maybe even win.
yeah.
I still think so. But you mentioned something interesting, sagging off on the screen. And there's a player in the NBA who every time he touches the ball, there is nobody within a 10-foot radius of him.
That's
His name,
Giannis.
well, yeah, no, because Giannis everyone
Giannis,
stays in
right?
the paint, but I'm actually talking about Draymond Green. When he
Oh
touches the
my,
ball,
yeah.
no one guards him. And yesterday,
Backpack
Draymond
Draymond.
Green,
Yeah, 19 assists, right?
2 points, 12 rebounds, and 19 assists.
Yeah, I saw
2
that. That's
points.
crazy.
But
That's crazy.
somebody commented, and I thought they were completely right. I think it was a football player actually commented this. He goes, "People got to stop sagging off on Draymond Green," and I think that was a really, really good point because when you looked at Draymond Green just handing the ball to Steph Curry, if you're going to have the person guarding Draymond Green sag all the way in the paint, meanwhile you have the best scorer in NBA history running around the perimeter, you're doing something wrong. Like you need to get up really close to Draymond Green, not with the purpose of preventing him from scoring because he's not going to score, but with the purpose of contesting his passes or getting
Exactly.
or being quick on the switches. Right? Do you think teams need to step up, or do you think teams need to sag back?
I think teams need to step up because you got to apply the pressure. He's too comfortable. It's like it's like a quarterback that has no one trying to rush him.
Yeah, a
He
lot of
just
time in
sits
the pocket.
dribbling. Yeah, just dribbling, and top of the key, just looking, surveying.
Mm-hmm. And when you give him all the time, he can do it the whole. Like he's pretty much a point guard. He pretty much is.
Exactly.
When he got the ball on the top of the key, he's pretty much another point guard, and I think that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest reasons they've succeeded. And I think the big problem with that, and I'm surprised Coach Malone didn't catch on to this, is that in the NBA, everyone thinks if you're bad at offense, you sag. It's just like, no, dude, people are getting better. You know, even if you're not good at offense, you still can't sag because you're going to give them the opportunity to do whatever they want.
Make a play, yeah.
Yeah, the game's definitely evolving.
Yeah.
Every year.
So with the game with the game evolving, I was talking about this. I've talked about this for a couple podcasts, and I want to see your take. We see players becoming more skilled than ever, doing things that people back in the day never even thought of. So do you think offense in the NBA is just getting exponentially better while defense is sort of hitting a standstill? And do you think defense can get better than what it currently is?
I should make this argument a lot. I think the NBA is so skilled that no matter what defense you play, like it's just if you have a hand up, like that's good defense, right? Like a good defense is if you have a hand up right in their face. And I think the NBA players getting so skilled where like a lot of NBA players are shot makers. They can make shots and a hand in the face won't even affect them no more.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the NBA skill level, which is for offense wise, is just just keeps going up. While the defense, like you can't do much. You know.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
just got to keep your hand up. So
that's exactly what I was thinking. Like,
yeah,
when you hit the NBA is really evenly split. There's the top half of the league and there's the bottom half of the league. Either you can score or you can't score. That's it, right? And when you're in the top half of the league, you can pretty much hit a shot over any defense. Like it's pretty much insane. So when you have a team of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving and Blake Griffin reincarnated, like
and they had LaMarcus Aldridge too before he retired.
They had
he was a bucket.
They had LaMarcus Aldridge as well. And I'm just like, these are players where no matter who you put on them, they're gonna keep scoring.
Exactly.
Do you think Kevin Durant is one of the top 5 scorers of all time? Because I was watching an interview of Kobe Bryant, and he said Kevin Durant was one of the only players, if not the only player, where he couldn't figure out how to guard him by the time he retired. He said when Kevin Durant first started out, he couldn't drive left. So Kobe's like, all right, I'll just shut down his right, and that's how I'm going to shut it down. But after a while, he just started developing, and he couldn't do anything anymore. So do you think he's top 5? And if so, who do you have in your top 5?
I think he might be my first, actually.
Really?
He might be my number 1.
I think, he can do just about everything.
He can do everything, and at 7 foot, he's 7 foot guard, and he can move really good,
Yeah.
and he can just rise with the defense and score. And like, unless you have another 7 foot that can move like him,
Yeah.
like
You
I
can
still don't
never.
think yeah, I don't think anyone can guard him
So
really.
who else do you have in
Especially
your top
in the
five?
like he can score off the post, he can score off the ball,
Oh yeah.
he can
He
score
had the
off the
shimmy
catch
pull
too.
up. He'll pull up over anyone,
Man,
no matter what. With his dude, he's got what,
yeah,
8 foot wingspan? I have no idea. This guy's got an insane one.
probably
We're talking about
7 foot
Adrian's
something.
wingspan. What about Kevin Durant's?
Man, freak,
Yeah.
freakishly long.
So who else do you have in your top five?
I have all right, maybe KD at my first. I have Kobe. Kobe and KD are my top two. Then maybe Jordan.
Okay.
Gotta
Damn,
throw in
this
the
is really
all-time leading
hard.
scorer, man.
This is really hard.
Yeah.
You gotta
Really
throw in the
hard.
all-time leading
Definitely.
scorer.
All right, I don't want to put it in any order. So I have KD, Kobe, Jordan. I want to put either Steph or AI.
Okay. Fair enough. My list, I would say
Who's your top five?
number 1, Jordan. Number 2, Kobe. Number 3, Durant. Number 4, James Harden. And number 5, Steph Curry.
Oh man, James Harden. All right, I'm gonna say AI and put James Harden.
Why are you guys sleeping on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the all-time leading scorer?
No, but
What
there's
is?
a difference, though, dude.
There is
There is
no
a difference.
No, listen. I understand.
We're talking
LeBron James
three
might beat
level
him,
score,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay.
Because
like scoring all different variety of ways.
Okay, I got you.
yeah, because
That
like,
makes sense.
listen, dude,
That
like
makes sense.
LeBron might beat him
'Cause
by the time he ends his career, and I'm still not putting LeBron as a top 5 scorer of all
it's
time.
possible on the track that he's on, honestly, as much as I don't want to see that happening, just because Kareem is Kareem, like legend, name speaks for itself. But I was about to bake you guys, but that makes sense. 3-level scorer. I was about
Yeah,
to legit
variety.
bake you guys and have Kareem on there.
Yeah, dude, these players are putting up 40
Like
like
Shaq,
it's nothing.
Shaq was putting up 30, but he's not like a scorer.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like the last 10 seconds on the shot clock. What do you want the ball having on the top of the key?
Yeah.
You know.
My answer will change based on that vote.
Listen, I'm taking Damian Lillard.
I literally, before you jumped on here, I was literally showing my cousin that clip of Dame Dalla hitting the walk-off 3. And I was telling him
That wasn't that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2
3
years
years ago, yeah.
Man, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I was
remember
literally
that.
telling him how I was watching that game live and it was super late. I was doing homework and all I hear, and I remember the game was like, I was just casually watching it, didn't think anything of it. And I'm just like, typing, looking up at the TV. I'm like, oh shit. I'm watching the game. He hits a shot and I start screaming. And it's like probably like 10, 11 o'clock in Chicago time. My mom was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I was like, Dame Dollar just happened. Dame Dollar. I'm going crazy. She's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Bro.
Man.
Insane.
So I wanted to now do a start bench cut.
Oh man.
We'll do this basically off not based off who's the better player, but purely based on who you want just taking a shot. Just a general pull up, maybe off anything type of shot. Reggie, Ray Allen, or Steph?
Start, bench, cut, right?
Yeah.
Steph, start, bench, Ray Allen, cut, Reggie Miller.
Okay.
I seen that coming, considering you were talking about Ray Allen earlier, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would.
How about you guys?
I wouldn't start Steph. I'd probably bench Reggie Miller because he's really clutch, and I'd probably cut Ray Allen. But that's really close because Ray Allen arguably had one of the craziest shots in NBA history.
Man,
I'm cutting Steph. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna start Steph. I'm gonna start Steph. I'm gonna bench Reggie Miller just because like the whole choking and that's crazy.
6 points in what, like 6 points in 4 seconds?
Something crazy like that, yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
And I'm gonna cut Ray Allen just because he joined the ops. I can't respect that.
Felt that.
So next question is we have, who are 5 dinner guests you would want to, or just I guess we'll just do one. Who is one person you would want to have dinner with, dead or alive?
Kobe.
Kobe. That was quick.
Yeah,
Why Kobe?
Kobe. Like I wasn't really a big Kobe fan when I was a kid, but as I got older, I started admiring like the Mamba mentality and like the because Mamba mentality is not just for basketball, like you said, like it's for anything in life. And
Yeah.
like, you really got to admire like someone who just relentlessly put in their time and effort into one thing and master their craft.
hmm
And especially for basketball, like he kind of paved the way for my generation too, in terms of like really dialing in, focusing and working hard.
Yeah.
And
Just your
yeah,
craft in
seeing
general.
when he passed away, I was very sad. So
So you mentioned earlier, Old Man and the Three JJ Redick's podcast. Do you listen to any other podcasts? Well, basically what I'm asking is, do you listen to the All the Smoke podcast with Steven
I
Jackson?
do sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so they had Jeannie Buss on the most recent episode, and they were talking about Kobe. And Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes were talking about how when they had the interview with Kobe, before the interview, they went to Kobe's office, and Kobe had like this huge master plan of his next 20 years of his life was going to be better than his NBA career, the 20
Yeah.
years he played for the Lakers. So just imagine him applying that Mamba mentality to whatever the hell he was, cooking up in his office. It's
Yeah.
just
He was
crazy.
he was supposed to make his own shoe, like his own brand,
Yeah.
the Mamba brand. That's supposed to have like his own shoes and stuff. Because that's why that's why like they're done making Kobe shoes with Nike this year. It was because
Contract ran out.
his contract ran out and he didn't sign a lifetime contract like LeBron and Jordan did because I think he had his own plans
Yep.
Yeah.
to make his own company.
E-
So he was a
easily,
businessman too.
easily the goat of our generation of the
Yeah.
three of us growing up. My parents, and I'm assuming both of your parents, grew up watching Jordan, or knew Jordan, admired Jordan. For us, that's
hmm
Kobe, right? It literally was
Yeah.
Kobe for us. And it was for a whole different reason aside from basketball too, is the fact that he took his grit, his grind outside of the world of basketball. Like he was applying that
Yeah.
to a lot of the arts and a lot of music and movies and books and things like that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kobe's
Um,
actually big overseas in the Philippines too, because he did a
oh,
lot of tours in Asia. So they
okay.
love him over there too. Definitely
So
Kobe.
as we come to an end on the podcast, we wanted to do our final segment, which is we're going to do a draft. We're going to do a snake draft of the best shooters of all time. So the way the snake draft will work, Adrian, you're going to get first pick, I'll get second, and then Ibrahim gets 2 picks, and then it goes back up, and then Adrian, you get 2 picks back at the top.
Okay. Best shooters, right?
Best
Shooters.
shooters. Yep.
Yep.
We're going to
Okay.
do a 5-man squad. Okay, so Adrian, you get first pick.
I'll get Steph.
Taking Steph Curry, man. Okay. I'm taking Larry Bird.
Larry Legend.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going Ray Allen and Reggie Miller.
Okay. I'm gonna take Klay Thompson.
Man, that was mine.
Steph and Clay would have been
I
nasty together.
yeah, for sure. I would take Kyle Korver.
Dang it.
Hot
And then
sauce.
you get another pick as well.
Oh, take man, I'll take JJ.
Oh,
JJ Redick's really an underrated shooter,
I'll
which
Yeah.
is
take
crazy to say still.
I'll take Kevin Durant.
I was thinking him too, but shooter.
Y'all are sleeping on Craig Hodges, man.
This man said Craig Hodges, bro.
Craig
Hey,
Hodges.
How old are you?
2K, his 2K, his 2K 3-point was like a high 90s and like 2K something.
Bro, he
I
was
remember that.
blackballed by the NBA, man. He had like the I think he still holds the record for 3-point contest.
Really?
Oh, I think he does, yeah.
Does. And then I'm gonna go. Oh man, this is tough. I'm gonna go Damian Lillard.
This man. Yeah, that was a pretty good pick anyway. I'm taking Peja Stojakovic.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
What a beast.
Man, how much? I have three, right? Three
Yeah,
players now,
you
Yeah, three
have
total.
Steph, Kyle Korver, and JJ.
and JJ. Yeah. Do I have to pick two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get 2 players now. Yeah.
Damn, this is hard. Man, I have to think. Uh, I'm trying to pick someone from the past. I'll just have to go Joe Harris right now. Joe Harris,
Solid pick.
and I don't want to. I'd say Duncan, but no. I said Joe Harris and
Joe Harris is a beast.
James Harden.
Dang it,
Joe
bro.
Harris and James.
Took
Joe Harris
mine.
and James Harden.
Okay. All right. I was gonna go with my backup now. I'm going with Paul Pierce.
The truth.
The
Hey, he's
truth.
clutch. He's clutch.
Yeah.
Give him that.
The clip of him talking shit while he's dribbling the ball, staring down the clock. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
RIP to this man's career.
Bro, that man is hilarious, man. He's living his best life.
Yeah.
Dude.
His best life.
What can you say, man? A man enjoying his life. What are you gonna do? He didn't even care either.
Yeah.
He didn't.
He's
He
selling
was
his
like, "All right,
house
whatever."
in Cali.
Is he?
Yeah, because of
Maybe
that.
he can't afford it anymore.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, he probably still could. I'm going Trey Young.
That's a solid pick too.
I got beef with Trey Young, man,
Why?
because he doesn't play real basketball. Like he does this thing where he goes around the screen, sticks his butt out, and
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah,
why
he's actually really good. He's good at it.
that move is why he's not an all-star this year. Like plain and simple. Like
I think he's a defense liability. I think that's why he's an all-star.
I think he's
Like,
statistically the
facts.
worst defensive player in the league.
Yeah, he is.
they go
Facts.
at him. Every other teams go at him on offense. It's kind of tough.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It'd be the worst feeling too, is when the team is trying to go at you. Like, I see they do it to Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson all the time. They like
Yeah, they
purposely
were
try to
doing
get
that.
him to switch.
They were doing that in the bubble in the finals. I remember they were going at
Yeah.
Tyler.
So
You
Stuff like
have to. You
that.
got to expose the mismatches. It's similar to
Yeah.
what you were saying with Joel Embiid.
Yep.
You know, it's a little different.
since he's averaging like 23, 24 points a game, but he's allowing so much on defense. We had a guest come on a couple weeks back saying he should be a bench player. And I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, well, he doesn't have the talent to just be put down to the bench. But if you're going to be letting so much on defense, it's like almost like what's the point of what you're doing on offense? Like I think was it Bojan is probably their most important player right now because of how clutch he is. He had a clutch shot the other day. Do you think he'd be more effective on the bench or no?
Trey Young?
Yeah.
No. I think he definitely, because he's the type of player that needs the ball in his hands.
Okay.
So he's like really, he's actually really good on offense. Like he creates shots off the pick and roll.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's just his defense. Like he's a
I mean,
defense
that's something
liability.
you could learn too. I mean, a lot of defense is just effort, man. Something you
But
can
he's
learn.
also small. Like he's like 6'1", 6'2", 170. That's
Yeah.
very small in the league. So
All right. So let's read out the teams. Adrian, you got Steph, Kyle Korver, JJ
Joe
Redick,
Harris.
Joe Harris, and James Harden. Me, I have Larry Bird, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Peja Stojakovic, and Paul Pierce. Ibrahim, you got Ray Allen, Reggie Miller, Craig Hodges, Damian Lillard, and Trey Young. I don't know about you guys. I think my team's the best by far.
I think
Nah, I
your
think
team
my
is-
team's the best.
Really? Yeah,
I think my team's the best.
I think if we're just going off of shooting, I think you might be right. But if we're going off of, I think, a skill, probably mine, just because of Kevin Durant. But you
that's
have
not what we
Steph Curry.
drafted, though.
What's up?
That's not what we drafted, though.
That's true. That's
We
true.
drafted so.
Wait, I think
It's-
who's your skill? You have KD. I think my skill is I have James Harden and Steph.
I have
I think.
KD and Larry and
And Paul
Clay.
Pierce.
Clay's one of the top shooters too. So
It's a toss up between you guys. My team's a little sauce, aside from Ray Allen and Reggie.
Well, yeah,
I'm
but
not gonna lie.
I'm just gonna have
You got
Larry
right out on the
Bird,
road.
Trae Young
Yeah.
to Pound Town, bro. Okay. All right. That was just about everything we wanted to cover today. So, Adrian, I wanted to ask you here. I might be putting you on the spot. I don't know if you don't have an answer. That's completely fine. We can ask you after. You can hit us up later. Who is one person we should have on the podcast that you can help us get?
You guys want a basketball player?
Yeah.
I can help you guys get. You guys want me to get Corey, or you guys want? I can get a trainer too. I can get one of my
Ooh,
That would be
basketball
cool.
trainers. I can switch it up.
That'd be cool. Honestly, having a first train, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I
That'd
can
be
get
great.
I can get my trainer Ryan Hartman. He trains a lot of overseas guys.
That'd be
player
lit.
play like yeah. So
Does he
train
like?
with him.
Is he on American time or is he living overseas?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, okay.
He's in American time, so
All right,
Sure.
for sure.
trains a lot of professionals too. Trains a
Yo,
lot of college guys. He's a great trainer. Helped me got a lot better.
Wait, before we close out, we completely disregarded the fact that you trained with an NBA player. Is this true?
He trains with the same trainer, but we're in the same court. But we weren't doing the drills together. He was on the other
Oh,
side of
okay.
the court. So
uh,
we took a picture with him after like our workouts were done. I was like, yeah, it's so cool, like sharing the
pretty
court. And like the way so I was training with my teammate with my trainer, and he was training with the other trainer on the other side. And like he would have like 3 to 4 guys guarding him
oh wow.
when he
Well,
was doing the drills. Like
what,
there was
what
the help side, there was the screen hedge, and there was a guy guarding him. So he was just playing 1-on-3 basically.
Jesus.
And then like someone was there to contest a shot. If he was shooting, every shot was contested. I was like, that's NBA level right there.
For real.
And he was
Damn.
moving really like really
speed.
fast pace. Yeah, insane. So that experience is really cool to watch. And I was trying to like go as fast as him, but no defense was guarding me. It was like one guy, the hedge guy. So
Man, no, that's insane.
crazy.
Well, that was a good way to end off today's podcast. Adrian, you were an absolute pleasure to have on. I appreciate
Thank
you
you for
coming
having
on,
me.
Matt.
I had a lot of fun.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Climate Podcast. Good night.